If you completely eliminated salt from your life starting tomorrow, just salt, you might be surprised to learn how your body, which has relied on salt for thousands of years, would try to protect itself. Because this isn't just about making a healthy choice. This is about the system in your body that controls your heartbeat, your brain's signals, and every single muscle movement you make. And here's the most surprising part. Most people assume less salt is always better. But the truth might be the exact opposite. Today we're going to look at what actually happens inside your body day by day if salt is removed completely. And at the end, I'll tell you something that might completely change the way you think about salt. Let's get started. First, we need to clear up a misconception. We've all heard that too much salt is harmful. It raises blood pressure, increases the risk of heart disease. That's true. But because of this, a lot of people assume the less salt, the better. And that assumption can actually be dangerous. Salt, or sodium, isn't some extra thing your body tolerates. It's an essential electrolyte. Every nerve signal, every muscle contraction, and the balance of water in your blood all depend on sodium. Before we get into the science, it helps to understand why our bodies are wired this way in the first place. For most of human history, salt wasn't easy to find. Our ancestors lived inland, far from oceans and salt deposits, and getting enough sodium was a genuine survival challenge. Entire trade routes were built around salt. Wars were fought over it. Roman soldiers were sometimes partially paid in salt. That's actually where the word salary comes from. Our bodies evolved a powerful craving mechanism for salt precisely because it used to be scarce and essential. That craving system is still fully active in your brain today, even though salt is now everywhere. So when your body asks for salt, it's not being dramatic. It's running on instincts that are tens of thousands of years old. Let's understand a bit of the science now, so what follows makes sense. Around every cell in your body is a membrane, and through that membrane, sodium and potassium are constantly moving in and out. This is called the sodium-potassium pump. This is exactly what carries nerve signals from your brain to every part of your body. If there isn't enough sodium, these signals can't pass through properly, and everything from your thoughts to your muscle movements starts to slow down. Sodium also controls how much water stays in your blood. When sodium levels drop, your body activates a whole chain of hormonal responses to try to protect itself. Your kidneys release a hormone called renin, which triggers a cascade known as the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. This system tells your kidneys to hold on to whatever sodium is left, and it also affects your blood pressure directly. At the same time, your brain releases a hormone called ADH, which controls how much water your kidneys hold on to as well. All of these systems working together are trying to protect one thing: the balance between sodium and water in your bloodstream. When that balance tips too far in one direction, and sodium becomes too diluted compared to water, that's called hyponatremia. Remember that word, hyponatremia, because it's going to matter a lot later in this video. Now let's go day by day and see what actually happens inside your body if salt is removed completely. On day 1, you likely won't notice anything at all. Your body already has sodium stored in your blood and tissues, and your kidneys respond almost immediately. They shift into conservation mode, holding onto sodium and excreting far less of it through urine than usual. By day 2, your body is still running mostly on reserves. Some people report slightly less bloating around this time since sodium affects water retention, but this isn't necessarily a good sign long-term. It's just an early, temporary shift. By days 3 and 4, fatigue starts setting in more noticeably. You might get mild headaches, especially in the afternoon. Many people start experiencing intense cravings for salty foods. Chips, pickles, salty snacks suddenly feel incredibly appealing. That's your body's ancient survival instinct kicking in, the same one your ancestors relied on to seek out scarce sodium. These cravings are exactly like the ones your body gives you when it's missing something essential, not a lack of discipline. By day 5 to 7, meaning the end of the first week, things start getting more serious. You might feel dizzy when standing up quickly. This is called orthostatic hypotension, when blood pressure suddenly drops because the water and sodium balance in your blood has been disrupted. Muscle cramps are also common at this stage, especially at night, since sodium plays a direct role in how your muscles contract and relax. Your brain might also feel a bit foggy. Concentrating on simple tasks becomes noticeably harder. Some people describe it as thinking through fog or forgetting words mid-sentence. By the second week, if salt has truly been completely eliminated, things become even harder for the body. Sodium levels can drop low enough that the real risk of hyponatremia sets in. Symptoms at this stage include nausea, severe fatigue, increasing muscle weakness, irritability, and mental confusion. Some people also experience a noticeable drop in appetite, and in some cases, a rapid heartbeat as the body tries to compensate for lower blood pressure. By the end of the second week and into the third, if sodium intake genuinely stayed at zero, which is very difficult in practice since sodium exists naturally in almost every food, including vegetables, meat, and dairy, the situation would become medically dangerous. This is why true zero-sodium diets essentially don't exist in the real world without medical supervision. Even people on very low-sodium diets for health reasons are still consuming some baseline sodium from natural foods. It's important to understand, hyponatremia isn't something minor. In severe cases, it can lead to seizures, brain swelling, and even loss of consciousness. Doctors often see this happen with marathon runners and endurance athletes who drink large amounts of water during a race but don't replace their sodium. They end up with hyponatremia simply from drinking too much water without enough salt, sometimes with tragic outcomes. This is actually one of the more well-documented causes of death in long-distance endurance events, and it's a powerful reminder that more water isn't automatically safer than more salt. Balance is what matters. Hold on for a second. Before we move forward, there are a few important myths we need to clear up. Myth number 1. All salt is equally bad. That's not accurate. The real difference is between the excess sodium hidden in processed, packaged food and the basic sodium your body actually needs from whole foods. The sodium in fast food, chips, canned soups, and ready-made sauces is the real problem, not the small amount of salt you add to your own home-cooked meals. Myth number 2. Pink Himalayan salt or sea salt is significantly healthier than regular table salt. In terms of sodium content, they're almost identical. The main difference is trace minerals in tiny amounts, and iodine. Regular table salt is often iodized, which actually provides an important nutrient that many natural salts don't contain. Myth number 3. Sweating a lot means you should drink more water and avoid salt. Actually, the opposite is often true. When you sweat heavily, you lose both water and sodium, so replacing only water without any sodium can actually push you toward the same imbalance we've been talking about this whole video. This is exactly why sports drinks contain electrolytes, not just water and sugar. All right, now let's get back to what I promised at the beginning. Here's what surprises people most about salt. Your body's sodium balance is controlled so precisely that even a small shift in either direction can be dangerous, whether sodium is too high or too low. Most people only know that too much salt is dangerous, but far fewer people know that too little salt can be just as dangerous, and in acute situations, even more dangerous, because its effects on the brain can happen much faster than the slow, long-term damage of high blood pressure. In fact, in many medical cases, severe hyponatremia, caused by dangerously low sodium, can become life-threatening within hours, not years, because its effects hit the brain directly. Brain cells are extremely sensitive to sodium levels, and when sodium drops too quickly, the brain can actually begin to swell, since water moves into brain cells to balance out the surrounding sodium concentration. This is very different from the slow, cumulative damage that excess sodium causes over decades through high blood pressure. So when people say you should just cut out salt completely, they're actually putting one of the body's most basic and finely tuned balance systems at serious risk. The idea that your body doesn't need salt at all is wrong. Your body needs the right amount of salt, not too much and not too little. It's not a villain to be eliminated, it's a nutrient to be managed. So the real question is, if you want to manage your salt intake in a genuinely healthy way, where do you start? Step 1. Focus on processed and packaged food, not the food you cook at home. Chips, fast food, canned soups, deli meats, and ready-made sauces contain the vast majority of hidden sodium in most people's diets, often far more than people realize, since salt is used heavily as a preservative and flavor enhancer in packaged products. Step 2. Cook your own food whenever possible. When you cook at home, you know exactly how much salt you're adding, and you can adjust it to your own needs. With packaged food, that control disappears completely. Step 3. If you exercise heavily, work outdoors in the heat, or sweat a lot for any reason, pay close attention to your sodium intake rather than restricting it. People in this situation actually need more sodium than the average person, not less, to replace what they're losing through sweat. Step 4. Never attempt to eliminate salt completely without talking to a doctor first. Especially if you have an existing health condition like kidney disease, heart failure, or if you're taking medications that affect your sodium or fluid balance, since these situations require individualized medical guidance rather than general advice. Step 5. Listen to your body. If you're having intense, persistent cravings for salty food, that's not necessarily a weakness or poor discipline. It could genuinely be your body's ancient signaling system telling you it needs sodium. Step 6. Pay attention to how you're feeling, not just numbers. Fatigue, dizziness when standing, muscle cramps, and brain fog are all signals worth paying attention to, especially if you've recently made big changes to your diet. Remember, health isn't about eliminating something completely. It's about finding balance and understanding that your body's systems are usually smarter and more finely tuned than we give them credit for. So that was it. What actually happens inside your body, day by day, if salt is completely eliminated, from the mild fatigue and cravings of the first week to the real, documented medical risk that builds by the second and third week. Hopefully now it's clear, too much salt isn't good. But eliminating it completely isn't the answer either. The goal was never zero. The goal is balance. If you found this video useful, subscribe to Dr. Sarah Mitchell and let me know in the comments. Did you know that too little salt could actually be dangerous? In the next video, we'll explore another equally interesting question. Until then, take care of yourself.